Failures don't destroy us. What destroys us is the decision to never try again. This is the story of a boy named Aryan, a boy who once gave up too easily until one painful fall taught him the meaning of true strength. Aryan lived in a small, quiet village, surrounded by green fields, dusty lanes, and the simple life of rural India. He was bright in studies. His teachers often praised his sharp mind, his ability to understand lessons quickly. But Aryan's heart was fragile. He could not bear defeat. The moment life threw even the smallest challenge at him, he stepped back. If a math problem felt tough, he would close his notebook. If he lost in a game of marbles with his friends, he would walk away from the ground. If someone teased him, he would hide in silence. Deep inside, Aryan hated failure. But more than that, he feared it. And when fear of failure rules your heart, you never give yourself the chance to grow. In school, Aryan's teachers often noticed this habit. His class teacher once said, "Aryan is intelligent, but he gives up too soon. He does not even try to finish what he starts." His friends too had started calling him the quitter. And though those words stung, Aryan never protested. Why? Because somewhere he believed it was true. And so life went on, day after day, week after week. Aryan remained the boy who stepped back. Then came the day that would change everything. One bright morning, the school principal announced, "There will be an annual sports meet, and the highlight will be the 100-meter race." Excitement spread across the campus. Children cheered, some nervous, some confident, all eager to test themselves. Aryan, too, signed up. Something inside him whispered, "Maybe, just maybe, I can win." The thought thrilled him and scared him at the same time. The day of the race arrived. The field was dusty, the white chalk lines freshly drawn. Children lined up at the starting point, their eyes shining with determination. Aryan stood among them, nervous, but excited. His heart pounded in his chest. Sweat trickled down his forehead, even before the race began. The referee raised the whistle. "On your mark, get set, go!" The whistle blew, and like arrows released from a bow, the children shot forward. For a while, Aryan ran ahead of everyone. His legs moved fast. The wind rushed past his ears. He felt like a champion already. But then, it happened. His foot slipped on a patch of loose soil. In an instant, Aryan fell hard on the ground. Dust rose. His knees scraped against the earth. Blood trickled down his legs. The pain was sharp, but the laughter was sharper. The crowd, his classmates, some teachers, burst into laughter. "The hero has fallen," they shouted. "The topper can't even finish a race." Aryan's ears burned. Tears filled his eyes. He tried to get up, but the weight of humiliation was heavier than his own body, and instead of running again, he walked away, slowly, with tears streaming down his face. That evening, Aryan sat alone in his courtyard. The sky was painted orange. The birds returned to their nests. But Aryan's heart was empty. His knees hurt, but his pride hurt more. The sound of laughter still echoed in his ears. "Maybe I'm just not meant for winning," he whispered to himself. "Maybe I'm destined to always fall." Just then, his father walked over. A simple man, hard-working, his hands rough from years of farming. He sat beside his son and gently placed a hand on his shoulder. "My son," he said softly, "why do you sit here with such sadness in your eyes?" Aryan looked away. "I fell today, Papa." Everyone laughed. "I couldn't finish the race. I'm a failure." For a moment, his father stayed silent. Then he spoke words that would stay with Aryan forever. "Listen to me, Aryan. Falling is not a mistake. Every runner falls. Every child stumbles. Every man breaks at some point." He paused, and then his voice grew firm. "But refusing to rise again, that is the real mistake. That is true failure." Aryan's eyes lifted slowly. Those words sank deep into his heart. Something shifted inside him. That night, he could not sleep. His father's voice echoed again and again. "Falling is not a mistake. Refusing to rise is. The next morning, while the village still slept, Aryan was awake. He walked quietly to the empty school ground. The sun had just begun to rise, painting the sky with gold. Aryan stood at the starting line. His knees still hurt from yesterday's fall, but today, he had made a promise. A promise not to quit. A promise to rise again. And then, he began to run. The ground was empty. Only the sound of his feet hitting the earth filled the air. Dust rose with every step. The morning breeze cooled his sweat. He stumbled. He fell. His wounds reopened. But this time, Aryan did not walk away. He rose again, every single time. And with each rise, his determination grew stronger. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Every morning, before sunrise, Aryan was on the field, running, falling, rising, again and again. His friends laughed at him. "Why waste your time? You'll lose again," they mocked. But Aryan no longer feared their laughter. He no longer feared the ground. He no longer feared failure. Because now he knew failure was not falling down. Failure was refusing to rise. His body grew stronger, his legs faster, his mind sharper, and his heart fearless. Months later, the annual sports meet returned. The same dusty field, the same chalk lines, the same crowd gathered. But this time, something was different. Aryan stood at the starting line once again. But today, he was not afraid. He was not nervous. He was ready. The whistle blew, and the race began. Children sprinted with all their strength. Dust filled the air. The crowd cheered loudly. Halfway through, Aryan pushed harder. His legs moved like fire. His breath was heavy, but his spirit was unbreakable. The crowd roared, "Go, Aryan, go!" And then, with one final burst of energy, Aryan crossed the finish line. First, cheers erupted. The ground echoed with applause. His friends, his teachers, everyone shouted his name. Aryan stood breathless, but smiling. His father's eyes glistened with pride. He had not just won a race. He had won himself. Life will always knock us down. People may laugh at us. Situations may break us. The ground may wound us again and again. But remember this: the true champion is not the one who never falls. The true champion is the one who always rises. Falling is not failure. Refusing to rise is. And that is the story of Aryan, the boy who once gave up too easily, but who learned that strength is not in never falling. Strength is in rising every time you fall.